Hey, good afternoon. Greg here. So this morning I thought it'd be a little bit of a quieter day. Hasn't been the case. The gap upheld. There was no gap filling. You can see the open gap there. And it's pushing higher. A little bit of a maybe fear of missing out, but we said it's firing on all cylinders. So I suppose you could say, what's the point in waiting? Get in there and see where it's going to go. So trend is up in multiple time frames, even on the 5 minute here. This little correction that occurred, even though it broke the low. And you know what? You never short anything that breaks a low in multiple time frames, even, I mean, as a scalp type of a trade, because odds are it's going to come back up. And, looking at the advances minus decliners, they're pretty anemic today, actually. Right now, it's just under plus 400 nonetheless. Trend is up. Internals give us a little bit of a guide as to the probabilities of continuation or not. And so it's more of a neutral. It's not bearish. So again, trend is up. And if we look across other markets, the Qs aren't moving all that much. And they're close to the prior high. That doesn't mean they're not going to go higher. And look at the 5 minute here. We've got a little red bar ignored setup and a wide range bar up. I mentioned in the green room here on this bottoming tail bar that this little continuation correction bar suggested it's going to go higher. It was lunchtime, so the doldrums, and you can see it's just more of a grinder rather than maybe a different time of day. If it was, say, 3 o'clock, it would have shot up. Time of day is important. The Russell is working its way higher. It was really wild this morning, really whippy and erratic. And now you can see it's settled down as the ranges have gotten tighter, and it's just working its way higher. And 65 minute continues to push up. It's at that pivot right there, so it's stalled for the moment. The diamonds were weaker early on. They looked like maybe they would roll over, but they regained their footing and pushing up. Looks very good. Regional banks moving up, as I said, firing on all cylinders. Financials, new high, pushing up there. And the transports, pushing up toward the top of the trading range. That's what we mean by firing all cylinders. All broader market indices are moving up. Utilities are stronger today. They did violate the trend. They traded under that pivot, violating that major support. But the next reference point was right underneath it. So at this point, we'll see if it actually makes a lower high or whether it can resume its footing to get back up there. Technology within the S&Ps is the second best performer. That looks great. Spiders, we already covered. Uh, Real estate moving up a little bit. So whatever, everything bullish. I guess even the weaker, like that real estate, um, finding some buyers. Communication services beginning to break out. What's strong here? TMUS continues to push up, even though telephone and one other one broke down last week. But this one continues to be the best. You can see the breakdown there under there. That looks like it could actually break lower if it clears those lows. Um, yeah, just looking at a few others within that sector. What's strong today? This SIFI, whatever it's called. Industrials moving up. Healthcare. You know, that has violated or broken the little downtrend that was in place here. We'll see if it closes above that pivot. I'd love to see a retest or some kind of continuation pattern for that. We'll see if that actually shapes up. And let's just take a look at a few other things. Block looks great in ETF. BR looks great. These are in the ETF trader. Looks great. Looks great. Everything looks amazing moving up. So, hey, when it's all firing on all cylinders, you could say you could throw a dart, but, you know, coming things that are playing catch up is what we've been looking for, and it's been working out really well. So we'll see if this continues until proven otherwise. Our internals are not at an extreme yet. So I mentioned in the weekend letter, um, those internals until they reach an extreme will just go with, even though I can't even say things are really that extended because we did have that 2 week or so consolidation. And once that happens, it should not break below that this area, and it's not. And this certainly looks like it's on its way to 5,900. So, as always, if you have questions, email us, Greg and Dan at Master Trader.